And welcome to another show, another Never Mind the Buy Box here at Secret Wealth Project. Natalie's ill tonight. I don't think she's really ill, so she's probably in the comments, but no, I don't mean she's faking it. No, I don't think she's, oh God. No, I don't think she's really, really ill. Like, she's not dying. So she'll be here, but I think she lost her voice or something. So I said, hey, it's all right. I'll get some random motley crew on and we'll see what happens. And then I messaged a bunch of people, and these are the people that we got on here, which is...
wide.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. Right, I try and join Vlad again. No. Let's see if I can... No, Vlad's having some technical issues, so we'll get him on as soon as he's sorted it. Well, yeah, so who have we got here? I'm Matt, as you know. This is Luke Pastore.
Hello, everyone.
And that's Lewis Wade.
The infamous.
The infamous, as I called you earlier. So for anybody that don't know, hi Nat, she's here, look. For anybody that doesn't know, Luke is basically the UK's used book expert. I mean, if Luke will probably tell you there's other people that know it better than him, but as far as I'm concerned, when I think used books, I think Luke, and he knows what he's on about. Lewis is the infamous lovable rogue, as I described him earlier, and he's more an importy China type, sell on eBay type person. And then we've got Vlad that's coming in a minute when he's sorted everything out, and he is an Amazon seller that a lot of you guys will know him anyway from the groups. Very prolific in all the different groups, and has been in Secret Wealth Project forever. He's got his own group as well, but he's here tonight and to talk Amazon. So, but this is very much we're going to just roll with it, guys. I don't know where this is going to go or what it's going to consist of, but I know I'm not going to talk about Amazon for an hour or so. So we're talking a little bit of Amazon, I'm sure, but I ain't going to be talking about Amazon for an hour. So I want to talk about gold. I want to talk about silver. I want to talk about the oil price. I want to talk about...
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about where the economy is going. I want to talk about the coronavirus. I want to talk about everything that might be on your mind if you're an investor or you're a small business person trying to find your way in the world like we are. So hi, Luke. Hi, Lewis and Vlad.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Do you want to say hello while I eat my sandwich?
He's always eating. Always eating, aren't you, Matt?
Yeah.
What's in your sandwich?
I'm not sure. Ollie shoved it in front of me. I can taste hummus on it. It's got some fake chicken.
Nice.
Fake chicken.
So let's get kicked off. Let me say hello to a few people in the group. Oh, Luke's gone.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll be back. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries. Right, I'll tell you what, that's a good time to... Ooh, oh, hang on. There we go. We're a bit
in the middle now.
Is somebody playing? Or is that me playing?
Like a rose between
God, this is going to go well, isn't it? I can tell. Well, let me say hello to a few people in the group. So we got... 1 second, Vlad's here now. Oh, my God. Right, here we go. In you come, Vlad. Bosh! Oh, we've got a corner each.
Here he is.
Hello.
Hi, Vlad. So I just introduced you before you was here, but Vlad's been a member of the Secret Wealth Project forever. He's got his own Facebook group now, but he's a prolific member of all the groups, and he's super, super helpful. You've probably been helped by Vlad at some point or other. But he's an Amazon seller, like many of you guys. So it's good to have you here, Vlad. I think this will be
Thank you for introduction. Thank you for having me.
No worries. I think this will be the first time probably a lot of people have seen your live face, not just a little photo, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. I never been live or on any video before.
Nice. So world exclusive. Meet Vlad for the first time. So let's get started. It's really hard for me to see who's saying stuff. I can see people typing and talking in the chat thing on this Be Live that we're using. I can't see who says it. So my apologies if I don't know who you are. There is a way for me to check, but I've not got my phone with me, so it's not an easy way for me to check. So, right, let's get started then. Let's start off with Lewis W. Aid Talk to me. So it's crazy, this China stuff that's going on. Obviously, it affects like labelers more so, or like people importing from China a lot. Talk to me. What's going on in China? Where are we at?
China's, I would say, 80% back up and running. So that's where China is. The only problem is the rest of the world isn't. So they're sat around twiddling the thumbs, trying to do deals at the minute. So trying to buy stock in China is very, very cheap because they want the production there. The only downside you've got is getting the gear out of China. Now, if you're going to be looking at, air freight shipping, express air freight shipping, it's through the roof. It's ridiculous. Sea freight is still okay price point wise, but there are delays on the seas at the minute in trying to get containers out of ports, and in particular different shipping lines that your freight forwarder is going to use. So there are some additional delays that are going to, be on top of that really. But getting gear out of China at the minute is all right, sea freight. But yeah, express air freight, you're paying for the nose for it at the minute. But then again, so is everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Everyone else is in the same boat. So if you've had stock that's been selling well on Amazon or eBay and that stock started to deplenish and you think, right, I need to reorder, but you're paying maybe, I don't know, a third more than what you were doing, I'd still get it in because everyone else is in the same boat, aren't they? All their stock's, deplenishing. You've got to replenish it. So pay the money, order it, get it in because there's still a demand there for it. And there still will be a demand probably for the stock once we come out of lockdown, whichever.
So when you said it gone through the roof, what you actually mean is about a third more expensive than before, which is through the roof.
Yeah.
But the Chinese suppliers are bare bone costing, so they're giving you really good.
Yeah, they really are. But they'll, like how their government works, they will get loads of kickbacks, they'll get loads of stimulus. So there'll be factories that will actually be operating at a loss, but the stimulus and all the rest of it that'll be coming from the government will prop them up, keep things going.
Yeah, I'm with you. So it's not evening itself out totally because obviously, like when the Chinese talk about cutting their margins, they're like, you ask the Chinese, so how much is it for 1,000 units? And they'll be like, yeah, it's $10. And then you're like, well, what about 10,000 units? And they're like $9.99. So you yes, good discount. All right, okay. And then you're like, well, what about 1 million units? And they're like, I can do you a great price, $9.98. Pardon? Is that what it's like, Lewis?
It is. It isn't. A lot of the stuff that I do, as people probably know or may not know, it's big and bulky stuff. So my unit costs are quite on the high end as opposed to doing 1 million gadgets or widgets or whatever. So when I'm filling a container, I might do a container, 40-foot container, but it might only have 200 units in there because it's big and bulky stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I'm getting discounts, I'm getting discounts on the labour and the raw materials. Those are the two sort of price points, what you've got to look at. But I tend to do all right. But yeah, I know, when I've ordered, 1,000 quantities of whatever just to throw on eBay to keep, a throughput of stock going through to keep all the DSR ratings up and stuff like that, you never really get that much of a discount, to be fair. You've got to be ordering like literally a container of them. So 100 units to 1,000 units to 10,000 units. If that only fills up a pallet of a container, you're only going to get a couple of cents off, something like that, really.
I'm with you, yeah. So the big and bulky stuff's a little bit different to the smaller that I've probably dealt with more in the past. I've never done big and bulky from China, so I've done lots of the small stuff, but not so much of the big stuff. So are you still your main outlet eBay?
Yes, still eBay, still selling Amazon. I don't do much FBA anymore because I've totally changed the way I do business. So historically, for the past 11 years, I've always had my own warehouses. So I had 2 at one point, went down to 1. End of last year, I've actually gone to a fulfillment center. So I'm now all fulfillment, really. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. A lot of my product lines disappeared, and I'm doing core product lines now with my agent and with a particular product that I've sort of invested in quite heavily in China. So yeah, that's going well at the minute, but our strategy is to kill off the competition. So we've turned out a lot of containers at cost. So there's not really been that much of a profit there to come out of it, even though we've got the 3-foot containers coming through. But we're slowly, gradually killing off the competition.
because they're scratching their heads, wondering how you're
they're wondering what's going on. So there's 3 of us that are involved, and we basically bought into a factory in China. So we effectively own the factory. So the goods are coming out at raw cost. So no one can beat our prices, really. So that's killing off the competition. And once the competition starts to disappear, we'll start upping our prices, and that's where the profit will come, longevity.
Okay, cool. That sounds like an aggressive, lovable rogue strategy.
When have you not known me to not be aggressive?
So what about on the demand side on eBay? What would you say? Well, obviously, things have changed. People are buying online because they can't buy offline.
I mean, it's for me, it's like 4:15 every day. And I'm sure a lot of Amazon people will be saying that as well. You know, people at home, that, you know, gardening products, sport and fitness products, gone through the roof. You know, you can't even order the stuff from Sports Direct or B&Q. You know, you're on back orders waiting, really. So if you've got any stock of that nature, great. You know, I've seen loads and loads of Facebook campaigns, you know, ads floating around with these adjustable dumbbells and things like that. Years ago, it's like everything's had a product life cycle again. You know, anything that's in the home and stuff like that, fitness-wise, that might have been out 4 or 5 years ago, is coming back into trend again.
Big time.
But with a slight, you know, a slant on the product. It's either got a better product design, it's got a better brand on it, it's packaged better, but it's still effectively the same product. It's
funny you should say adjustable dumbbells, because like Holly was looking at them exact things and she's like, they're 300 quid or something, so we didn't bother. But yeah, absolutely. Like there's so many people out there that are getting smaller, me included. I've never been like Arnie or anything, but if I don't go to the gym, I start to hurt. Like I've had a couple of paracetamol, a couple of ibuprofen today. And Karen asked me earlier, why? Thinking I'm poorly. No, I just dropped to bits. Do you know what I mean? I need to get back in the gym, and we've got no equipment here. But you can't get it. You can't get it. It's so expensive, or you just can't get it. And it's like you're always hopeful. Now, we'll be all right in a couple of weeks. We'll get back to the gym and be all right. So, no, I see that. So, okay, so demand's crazy, supply's bumpy, but
the other issue as well is getting stock out. So, you know, most of the normal sort of parcel force people, you know, Royal Mail, FedEx, DHL, UPS, they're all right. They're all up and running, really. Yeah. When you're using companies like what I use, which is the Panther Group, Tough Knulls and stuff like that, they've got staffing issues, and they're not as reliable time-wise in getting gear out. And also with the fulfillment company as well, there's got staffing issues there in getting staff in, staff not turning in. You know, 1 minute, you know, the rules are changing to staff saying, well, you can come in if you want to work, but you've got social, you know, distance yourselves and all the rest of it. So there's delays there, really. But it's all right. You know, stuff's going out, it's getting out. And, you know, as long as you're educating people on your listings and say, listen, you know, everyone knows we're in this bloody pandemic. You know, you're not going to get Prime at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's eBay or Amazon, do you know what I mean? So allow 4 to 5 days or something like that, and most people are happy with that. Really, they're not, you know, they're not killing you in the feedback or anything like that.
Right. Oh, that's fair enough. That's good. I'm just trying to get the group up so I can see you guys chat. I can't see anything, so I don't know why things aren't working for me. So my apologies for that. No idea who's watching or what you're saying or anything. It's just not coming up. That's all I'm getting on my phone. Yeah, thanks. So anyway, right. So no, that's cool. So nice little update for you, wannabe importers. I've only got one question pretty much for everyone, really, and then we just shoot the poop and just chat about whatever. So that's an update on how things are at the minute with China and importing and all that stuff. Over to Luke Pastore. I spoke to Reezy yesterday.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, and he said that basically used books have kind of stopped. That's what he said. It fell off a cliff. Is that what you're seeing in the used?
Right.
Yeah. Is that what you're seeing in the used books world?
No, not at all. I think the main driver behind Reezy saying that will be because his business is more or less 100% FBA. Right. So, you know, FBA have stopped shipping out non-essentials, haven't they? So, obviously, books are seen as non-essentials for most people. Yeah. So, FBA just stopped sending them in the USA. Now, I think Reezy had something like 600 pending orders or more than that. In a few days, they just turned off the books on FBA. So fortunately for us, we decided to move a lot more heavily into into merchant fulfilled last year. So we built up a decent stock of merchant fulfilled, and our merchant fulfilled sales for books have gone through the roof. We're doing 400% up.
Wow.
On normal. So it's better, way better than any time that we've ever sold on Amazon at the moment.
Oh, so things are going great for you guys.
Great, absolutely. We're doing like a week's work every single day.
Wow. Well, it makes sense when you think about it. People are stuck at home. They're wondering what to do. They're bored. There's only so much Netflix and chilling you can do. So it's like, what makes more sense? Buy some books. So
yeah,
absolutely. So you're seeing a massive lift.
We've seen a huge one. But the problem is that for us, our suppliers, where we get them from, like the kind of charity store, that kind of place, most of them have got elderly people running them, so they all just shut down. So in terms of our supply, it's just dried up, completely stopped. But we had quite a bit of backlog, and I told you, I might as well tell the group, we had a fantastic score yesterday. We put Facebook adverts out all the time asking for stock from people, and there was an advert on there. Guy replied to us, and the top and bottom of it is, he's a landlord. Someone was renting a unit from him, and he was a hoarder, and he was just hoarding books, just buying books. And this place, I'm not kidding, it must be 10 meters long by 4 meters. It's nearly floor to ceiling stacked with books. So it's a lot, and they're all wrapped up. They're all immaculate.
And what's he said to you then?
He said, if you can clear them out of the way, you can take them for free. So we've just got, you must be looking at, you're probably looking 30, 35 pallets worth of books just for free.
For free. And
for free.
Of that, how much stock would you say was sellable?
So we did a test last night of a load of it. And usually our kind of accept rate, for the books is about 10%. Yeah. So 90% of it gets binned, or we do other things with it. Yeah. And with this, we were getting a 25% success rate, because he's obviously sourced them, as decent stock, and they're all immaculate. So it's a real score. So we've been today, filled the van up 4 times today, and just going to keep going till it's all gone. Cool. It's a real score. It's going to keep. It would keep you busy. It would keep you busy for about 3 months.
So you're a hero to him because you've cleared his problem.
Yeah,
he's a hero to you because he just made you presumably tens of thousands of pounds. And also,
yeah, I think it's going to be you're probably looking about 30 grand. It's going to be
not bad, is it?
Which is not bad at all.
Story. Have you still got your unit? I know you got a unit last year.
Yeah, no, we've not got that. However, we're quite lucky. When I bought this house, we bought it in mind to have a lot of kind of storage and stuff outside. But now I've got a garage there that's, single car garage, and we're stacking that to the ceiling, and it's almost full. And I've not even put a dent in this thing. So I've got a kind of 25-foot workshop that's going to get filled, a couple more outhouses, and then I think we're going to have to start stacking it outside and just like put it on pallets and cover the thing up. It's you just have to do what you have to do, don't you? But there's tons of it, absolutely tons of it.
Wow, that's amazing. So supply is not so great in the used books world, but demand's massive. But you get this amazing thing whereby it's just like it's turned great.
Yeah, it was just like a gift from God or something. I don't know, it just dropped out of heaven. It's like, yeah, do you want these 30,000 books? Yeah, okay then. I'm not going to complain at the moment.
Did you say it was for a Facebook advert you ran, or a Gumtree advert or something?
Facebook, yeah,
right,
Facebook.
Brilliant. Cool.
So we run adverts anyway on all our local groups, and on a few other apps as well. There's an app called Nextdoor and a few others.
Spock as well, isn't there?
And Spock, and we just post them periodically, and we get a few hits from it, to be fair. And they're pretty decent. We picked up we had another one last week that was 13 boxes full. So it's just people clearing the stuff out. It's just free stock.
Yeah.
Can't complain, can you?
I think it's good because you've got people's attention at the minute because they're at home. Do you know what I mean? I have never been this busy and this chilled out all at the same time.
Same.
So I put a couple of adverts on Gumtree. I just thought, you know what? I'll chance my arm, and it was actually to do with property. I'm selling part of my portfolio off, and I managed to get one house actually completed on Monday the 23rd when Boris told us we're all grounded. And another house that had on sale a week prior to that. I had loads of interest for it. And obviously, when we got told we're on lockdown, that's it. Nothing. Estate agents aren't doing anything. Haven't heard anything from the estate agent because I assume they were sort of prioritising more rentals as opposed to sort of sales. So I thought, you know what? I'll just whack an advert on Gumtree. Gumtree served me actually all right in the past. I'm not gonna lie. I've had like 48 emails and I must have taken 30 calls in the course of like 3 to 4 days. I've got a lease option agreement now sorted on one of them, and another property that's pending sold, subject to survey.
What? Somebody's done a lease option agreement with you, so they're going to take it, manage it, just pay you the rent, guaranteed rent a month.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And invest the money into the property that it needs as well.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, wow.
I know you had some headaches with a property or two, and
yeah, I did. I managed to get legally that all tied up. Which is good, which then allows me to do the lease option agreement and stuff like that. But I'm pretty much just trimming the fat out of the portfolio. Properties that I've had for 10 years that have never really appreciated in capital appreciation. They're rented well, but they're never going to really appreciate capital appreciation again going on another 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But rather than just spending, I don't know, $5,000 every 4 or 5 years re-renovating them and getting up to a decent standard, just want them gone. To be fair, and a bit of money back in the pocket as well to see once the dust has settled out of this pandemic, be like a bit of a vulture and see what's lying around, really, see what I can pick up.
Absolutely. I want to talk more about that shortly. Once we've got rid of all the housekeeping stuff, which is what you boys all do normally, I'd love to talk more about that because I'm the same. I'm in cash right now. I'm heavily in cash, like really heavily in cash. I've not sold any investments for a good few years. I've never sold a house. Other than the house I've lived in, I've never sold a rental property. I've always kept them, and I'm going to continue to keep them. But anyway, we'll talk all about that shortly because that's the interesting stuff. But before we get onto that, that's how Lewis is doing with the China stuff. That's a brief kind of update on what Luke's up to. But what I want to say is, hi, Vlad.
Hi.
Hey, so Vlad, you like I say earlier, lots of people will know Vlad from the group. Super, super helpful. I've heard him described as an Amazon superstar and stuff lately. So it's really good that Vlad has decided to say yes. Oh, he's gone. He's aborted mission. He's like, no, I'm going. What happened? Hopefully we'll get him back in a minute, but I've got a bottle of Malibu. Is anyone drinking?
Oh, yeah, I got the
orange juice. That's it. I'll tell you what I have got, and this was lush, and I've told her to get it again, and it's very apt with the name.
King's.
Oh,
other way. Ginger.
King's ginger.
Oh, I must have downed that in about 2 days.
Oh, here we go. He's back. He's back. He's back. Here we go. Right. So
coming back on.
Here we go. He's coming back. Wait, here we go. Have we changed positions or we changed position? We're same for me.
Same.
So Vlad.
So is it working?
Yeah, it's working. What happened?
I don't know. It's just not my day, probably.
Me and Vlad jumped on a test thing earlier to try and get it working, and I don't know. We was a good half hour trying to figure something out, but it's good that he's even here because we could not get anything working.
Yeah, on my phone now. It's not working on laptop. I don't know why. But
okay.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Vlad, talk to me. How's business? Because you're an Amazon seller. Do you do anything other than Amazon, Vlad?
No. Amazon FBA online arbitrage shop is the only thing I'm doing, and as I live in Slovakia, so I'm doing online arbitrage in UK, where I started.
So you live and are based right now. You're in Slovakia.
Yeah, correct.
But you do UK arbitrage using a prep center, presumably.
Yeah. I'm working with third prep center now.
Right.
So I'm trying always better solutions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's interesting then, because often we get asked, "Oh, we're based in India, we're based here, we're based there. Can we do online arbitrage from wherever we are?" But you are a working example of how that can absolutely be done. So how are sales for you? What's Amazon like at the minute, Vlad?
After Q4, I had 2 months break, so I didn't send anything to Amazon. So my sales went down. And at the end of February, I decided to push on. So I started heavily sourcing, and I sent a lot of stuff to Amazon.
Yeah.
So it was kind of luck before what's happened, and my sales been like better than Q4. And then I sold out and realized that I'm doing essentials mostly, so groceries and health and personal care, beauty. Half of my items I'm selling are groceries.
Yeah.
And this is problem. I can't replenish them because they are most from supermarkets.
Okay.
So
sales are strong, demands through the roof, presumably, but you're having struggle sourcing stuff. So why are you struggling to source? Is it because the supermarkets have put limits on items, or?
I managed to do it. I started placing wholesale orders. I placed about 5-6 wholesale orders first ever. So I managed to get the items, but from supermarkets I can't. Yeah.
Is that happening across the board then at the minute? Are supermarkets basically saying no, we're not sending you anything? Is that what's happening?
All the slots are booked out, so there is no chance to place any orders.
So I've got a question for you, Vlad. When I first started doing online arbitrage, I might have this wrong. It's a long time ago now, but I think I started in the US, or I tried to do it in the US from the UK, but I found that you couldn't buy stuff in the US because it was like so many hoops. Like if you were trying to send the stock from the store to a prep center, then they didn't want to. Some retailers wouldn't do that because the address on your card didn't match where you were sending it to. And then another thing was because your IP address, my IP address was shown in the UK, then that was something that triggered some stores. And then other bits and bobs, like it felt like I was always struggling against that issue. Like I couldn't sell in the US because this store would stop me for this store would stop me for that, another store would stop me for this. So in the end, I just thought, forget this, and I transferred over to the UK and started doing it in the UK instead. Do you have the same problem from Slovakia doing it in the UK or not?
Not really. I can hear from many sellers what you just said about US, that they don't accept cards which are not registered in USA.
Yeah.
And IP address and things. But I'm not sure about cars in UK because I started selling when I lived in UK, in London. I have registered company in UK. I have UK bank account, so I don't have problem with this. But IP address is not issue at all.
Okay, so maybe that's the key then. So your bank cards are UK banks.
Yeah, exactly.
See that I mean, I don't know if other people have problems with it, but maybe that's a massive advantage for you.
But I'm talking with sellers every day, and there is no problem in the UK market with cards. People are placing online orders at retailers with any cards. There is no problem.
Okay, cool. So
I'm going to take this phone call. It's one of my suppliers. Hold on.
do you want? Okay, you muted us. I can say, it'd be interesting to listen to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, let me hide him. We'll go 3 for a bit.
It's supposed to be fun, so. It's supposed to be fun, so we had with the phone call. I mean.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about then, boys? Vlad, do you want to give us any hints? Give us a big Amazon tip for right now. And then I'll do the same for you, Lewis. So think about a big tip, current tip
right now.
How to? In fact, I'll ask a better question than that. What has the coronavirus and the lockdown taught you about business, and what's important for somebody watching this that might be either looking to get into it or is in it and looking to expand or something like that? Give us some hints or tips, folks.
I'm trying to think what it's taught me, really.
I'll tell you what. But while you guys are thinking, unless you've got one, Lewis, you got one?
I was going to try and give what it's personally done. I don't know if it'd be a tip or not, but I can say, for me, I feel so chilled out at the minute. It's great. I'm loving lockdown life. I really am. I sort of thrive in chaos, I think.
Yeah.
And I just see, and I've said this before, I just see so much opportunity at the minute, and you've got to be open to it. There's a lot of people that are, screaming blood in the streets and all the rest of it. You don't know what's going on. They're losing their mind. They don't know what's happening and stuff like that. And it's from a psychological point, I think if you can get through this and you're either upskilling or you're keeping yourself busy or you're being resilient and you're still trying to do deals, as we've all got to have a little bit of downtime. We've all got to watch The Lion King. We've all got to watch a few, Tiger King even. We've all got to watch a few things on Netflix, haven't we, that's funny. But I think you can do that for probably about a week. And then for me, it's like, right, I'm bored.
Bored.
I need to get into doing something now. I can't be productive.
I got a question for you.
Go.
Carol Baskin, did she kill her husband or not?
100%. That bitch, Carol Baskin.
Luke nodding.
Yeah, she's well guilty.
She is, isn't she?
100%.
Big time.
Vlad clearly doesn't have Netflix.
Vlad's like, what the hell? Carol Baskin.
idea.
For anybody watching, and Vlad, basically there's been this thing called Tiger King on Netflix, and it's nuts. I wouldn't invest the 8 hours or whatever of your time that it's going to take to watch it. It's probably not that good.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Watch it.
But in hindsight, I probably wouldn't. If it were the 3-part series, I'd have said, yeah, you got to watch it. But eight hours worth, I don't know about that. But
I wouldn't handle it.
It's all about a gay zookeeper in America that tries to kill a woman and is in prison for ordering a hit on her, and a bunch of craziness. And this woman that he's ordered this hit on, supposedly maybe murdered her husband and fed him to a tiger. So that's what it is. It's absolutely bonkers. But everybody that's watched it here is saying, yes, she is guilty. I think there's no other explanation for it, is there?
Big time.
Do you think she's under the cesspit or whatever, the cesspit tank thing, or do you think she's under the? Do you think she fed him to the tiger?
Meat grinder.
She fed him. She fed him to the tigers. She fed him.
Vlad's like, why did I agree to this? I think it clearly. You'll have to let us know in the comments. You know
what's interesting though about that? He came across like a bit of a loose cannon, didn't he? A bit of a weirdo. This Joe, what's it called? Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Now we watched Louis Theroux. He did the Louis Theroux Weird Weekends.
I've not watched that yet. Not watched it.
Well, it's from a long time ago when it was GW Zoo. I think it was called that at the beginning.
Right. Okay.
And he comes across really well, the guy. He comes across really well. Yeah, like everything's dead clean. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah. So it just shows you, doesn't it, the way it's filmed, how people view things.
There's definitely a narrative, and the narrative is that everyone's bonkers, I guess. But
big time.
He was clearly obsessed because of the amount of times he said Carol Baskin. And
he was obsessed.
He must have been obsessed with her. Do you know when you get like fixated on an enemy? He was definitely fixated on her. But yeah, anyway. So, okay, where were we? What were we talking about?
Carol Baskin.
Before that,
I think just what tips are, what advice, what's happening, what's been learned in lockdown. I think just keeping busy and planning. For what's going to happen. We are going to go back to normality, whatever that normality will be, whether it's a staged normality, back to work or whatever. But things will get back to normal at some point, and I think you just got to plan and prepare for it, and don't necessarily waste the next 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? You might have.
When you say 3 weeks, Lewis, do you think it will be 3 weeks, or do you think it
Yeah,
will?
I think it will. We've had 3 weeks on lockdown. We're over the peak now. And I think another 3 weeks, which is what they've given us, there will be a stage return. Do you know what I mean? So I think they'll let key workers like city bankers back into London, stuff like that. And then that'll, I think there'll be testing that will be going on as well. There'll be government guidelines for employers to say, right, keep your desks apart, make sure you're using hand sanitizer and all that, sort of good stuff. And then I think maybe a couple of weeks after that, normality will start to return, and small to medium-sized businesses will be back in business.
What do you guys think? How long lockdown? What are you saying, Vlad and Luke?
Go on, Vlad. What do you think?
It's a difficult question. It might be for months to 3 months. I have no idea. I'm really confused about what's going on, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of confusion out there for sure. Unless you just buy the mainstream narrative, and then it's not very confusing at all. It's just a guy at a bat. But I don't know. Difficult for me, that one. Luke, how long?
Very weird. Well, I think, like Lewis said, I think they'll do a stage return. I think they will keep people that are vulnerable, basically under house arrest.
Yeah.
Probably for the foreseeable future, which it's tough, isn't it? If you're vulnerable, they've already said 12 weeks. Can you imagine that's 6 months? Or it's tough on people psychologically.
Oh yeah. Well, you're locked down with your family, aren't you? Your whole family's there. Your whole world is there. Like I'm locked down with my partner, and obviously I still pick my daughter up at the weekends and drop her off. So I still get to see my little girl. I don't see my dad. I don't see Ollie's family and stuff. But like I'm all right. Like we're all right. Our life hasn't changed that much for us. But for some people, like my dad, he's on his own. He's locked down on his own week after week, and it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, definitely. Or people that are, single people. I really feel for them, because it's like you said. But our house is busy. There's 6 of us in this house, and
business as usual.
Yeah, but everyone's getting on well, and we're actually getting on better. I think it's been a really good. You don't want to say that, but it's been a good experience for us so far. We're all bonded.
It's weird. A lot of people are saying, Lewis has said it, you've just said it. People are actually a lot of people are going to miss the lockdown, I think. I think a lot of people
I think so as well. I think it's going to change a lot of people's mindset coming out, and their priority won't be so engagement on work. I think their work ethic will go, do you know what? I know what's more important. It's family life now. Do you know what I mean? That time I had 6 weeks in lockdown, I loved it. Got to spend time with my kids, got to, spend time with my wife, got time, spend time doing odd jobs around the house that, people enjoy or whatever. I think people's priorities will start to change, really.
You know what I found interesting? So usually, the type of books that we sell, educational books and that kind of thing, they've changed in the last few weeks. We're selling a lot of books about hobbies, but traditional hobbies, where it's obviously people who, they've always wanted to do something like, I don't know, like playing guitar or whatever, and that kind of thing. Loads of people are doing it. We sold loads, or knitting, crochet, stuff like that. You think, who's going to be interested in crochet now? But we're selling a lot of them. A lot. The
amount of people that I've heard say, "Oh, I'm learning French," or "I'm doing doing that." But will they learn it, or will they just do one lesson, or just read a couple of pages and then go, "Oh, actually, French."
What else are they going to do?
True, Netflix and chill, I guess. TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Everybody laughed at me a year ago about TikTok. I went to London. I did this presentation in front of everyone, and TikTok was a big part of it. And I'm like, I just really like it. It's like great, and now everybody's on it. Everybody's on TikTok. All the celebrities on TikTok.
Yeah, was there not some news in America? Are they not banning TikTok or something? I read something earlier on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because of the company who owns it and the data that goes in between.
China.
Yeah.
Yes.
China.
So going back to that, you think to yourself, well, when the lockdown does lift properly, like Lewis has said, it'll change. I think it'll change people's life, in priorities. And how will that work for us moving forward? Are people still going to buy the same kind of things? Are we going to go back to buying more basics? It's interesting.
Do you know what I think will be interesting? And this is what I've witnessed, because my partner Kate, she's a consultant, and she works, or part of her consultancy is doing like 2.5 days a week for a film studio in Manchester. And they've always had this thing that, you know, you've got to come in, you've got to sit your turn, or you've got to work. They've never had real people working from home. And as a company ethos, and I think this is sort of mirrored around other companies, they naturally think, working from home, working hard, hardly working. Do you know what I mean? Watching a bit of telly, doing something on the computer, on social media. You're not working. And Kate's daughter that lives with us, she works for like it's kind of like a call center, but it's not. And again, I think they've always had that thinking that, you don't want you working from home. But her stats are through the roof. And as a company, all the people that were in the call center that are working from home, that are on the phones, all their stats, they've actually seen a natural progression in call activity and whatever stats they sort of.
People are more productive, you mean?
More productive at home, yeah. And I think a lot of companies will see that and think, hang on, why am I paying for this, big call center wherever, when we can cut all our overheads and actually have people working from home?
I suppose there's a fear, as an employer, there's a fear of, but if we let everybody work from home, they're going to be bums, like you say. They're going to bum around. They're not going to do anything. Yeah. But this has forced people to do something that maybe was uncomfortable and wouldn't have chose to do before. Like,
exactly.
I'm going to risk that. They just bum around. But now they've been forced to see it. So they might actually go, like you say, we don't need this, we don't need that. Yeah. And maybe work life does change, maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. I don't know. But definitely interesting in that.
Yeah, I think.
So, so you guys think things are going to go back to normal relatively soon, even though it's going to be staged?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I tell you what has been crazy is all the 5G, everything else that's on social media. I've actually
Did you watch the David Icke interview?
No, I didn't. I did see the one previously that he did 2 weeks ago, but I didn't see the live stream one that got taken off, because I know he was calling everyone out, one of Elon Musk and all the rest of it.
So. Bill Gates, Elon Musk. People said to me, like, you're like a fan of Elon Musk. I'm like, yeah. They're like, did you see what David Icke said? I'm like, yeah. But yeah, go on. Sorry, Lewis, go on.
Yeah, I just, people I think were really sensible on social media. I've just seen them turn. It's like the brains have just gone to mush, and they've got really wrapped up in everything. And all right, there might be a small glimmer of truth. There's always a slight truth in something. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not. I don't know. I just, there's so much information out there that can be construed and that can be subjective to fit any narrative at the end of the day. So whether I believe in 5G as a conspiracy theorist or not, I don't know. I'm all for super fast broadband, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't really care, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I just let it be. But what does concern me, and I don't think it will come off, but all the Bill Gates Foundation with the vaccine and all, I think, as much as it can be sent so far right, again, there's still slithers of truth in that. Do you know what I mean? So allowing kids back to schools and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you've got to have a Bill Gates vaccine, and you've got to have this digital passport, this ID 2020 that I've sort of read about, and all the rest of it. How far truth that is, and how far that will actually be implemented, will be one thing or another. I think what
I'm okay with all that stuff.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of people, that like to think that they're awake in the world, that post all of this, and there'll be a massive, uprising. Look at all the yellow vests and everything on the streets of bloody, France and stuff like that, all kicking off, a few months ago and everything. With what's happening with the government there, people will start kicking up. They'll say, no, I'm not taking this injection. I'm not having this. So I'm not going to Benidorm this year. I'm going to Blackpool for my holiday. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I got some beef about all that vaccine stuff, but I got a reason for my views on all that stuff that I'll probably talk about another time, because I don't want to make it about me. Luke, you've clearly got some strong views on this stuff. Talk to me.
No, I agree. I think that I did watch the interview with David Icke, and I think the guy previously has got form for being an absolute nutcase. He thought he was the Messiah, didn't he? Not long ago, he actually thought that he was the Messiah and he was going to save the world. But he's clearly got some problems. This guy, but he truly believes what he's saying, and he really believes he's doing it for the good of people. Yeah, so that's the first thing.
You think he's a nut job, but believe.
Well, I think what he does exactly what Lewis said, where he gets information that, if you look at it, you can make it read whatever you want. You can do that with statistics. You can make them read any way that you want, and he'll sprinkle a lot of truth, and then he'll throw these little conspiracy theories in, and it makes it's quite compelling when you watch it. But it's just when you think about it, it's just nonsense. It's like you've got this idea about I'll probably be unfriended by a lot of people now, but this idea about a new world order and stuff. Well, people, governments of the world, they can't agree on anything. So, why would they be agreeing on this kind of thing and then doing it under the radar? And installing 5G mass while we're on lockdown. It's just, if you actually think about it, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Straight bonkers. Vlad's nodding. Vlad agrees, yeah?
If it's ever going to happen, it will never happen this way. It will go slowly, very slowly, like everything else.
Yeah.
It can't happen like this.
Yeah.
When I saw David Icke like 10, 15 years ago, first time, from that time.
Yeah, same.
It's crazy, man.
I've got a confession to make.
I see him as a proper man, and conspiracy theories is his niche, and he's really good at it.
See, I don't necessarily see him as deluded and bonkers. I think he's gone so far west in what his research is taking him. It's totally out the fathom of normal everyday people like you and me. So we don't necessarily really know what is actually out there, but he's doing the research from it. If he puts a spin on it or whatever, or it's half truths, there's probably still, like I said, a sliver of truth in everything.
Yeah,
but it's how far it goes into the rabbit hole of.
I think there's a lot of truth in what David Icke says.
Yeah,
I think the problem with David Icke is he talks like he's talking facts and doesn't provide any kind of evidence back it up. So it's like, I'm sorry, but 80% of what he says might be true, and it might come out one day it was true. But blooming heck, 60% of that 80% you made up, bro. Do you know what I mean? It just seems a bit like no substance to back it up. But I've got a confession to make, boys.
Go on.
Hear it.
Go
on.
I can't remember when it was. I don't think it was last year. I think it maybe the year before. 2 years ago, maybe. Me and Holly.
You went to see him.
We went to see David Icke live in Middlesbrough, right? Jesus Christ, Middlesbrough. Sorry if anyone lives there, but that place was eye-opening. I never want to go to Middlesbrough again. There was roaming groups of fighting-age males, like middle-aged males, a lot of the time, drunk, wanting to fight everyone everywhere. It was weird. But forget Middlesbrough for a minute. David Icke, we went to see him. But here, I've got another confession to make. And this is true. I don't know where Ollie is, but we walked out halfway through. We actually walked out. So we paid to see him. We travelled to Middlesbrough, which is not a 5-minute drive for us. And we walked out halfway through because it was that bad.
Wow.
It was garbage what he was coming out with.
Wow.
What was he talking about, Matt? 4G?
4G. No, I had 3G back then. No, it was garbage what he was coming out with. Like, his presentation style sucked. There was no data or no evidence or no testimony to back up anything he said. And me and Ollie just went, you know what, let's just go. We left.
Yeah.
But
Good idea.
I'm extremely, extremely open-minded, and
I think so as well.
I like to go. I don't want to tell you your conspiracy is wrong until I've looked at the evidence.
Yeah.
And I don't want to tell you that you're right either till I've looked at the evidence. So flat earthers. To me, flat Earth sounds like bonkers, crazy nut job. But I saw loads of graffiti. I think it was in Scotland or somewhere saying flat Earth's a real thing. Google it or something like that. So I looked into flat Earth stuff, And I'm sorry if you believe in flat Earth stuff, but there is no evidence, no actual evidence to back that stuff up. There's the odd tweak here or there that you could go, well, that's okay, but there's nothing. So I went in open-minded going, all right, let's see what about this flat Earth thing. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion, of course. But I approach everything with that same viewpoint. So somebody said, and I don't know who said it, the one thing worse than a conspiracy theorist that believes every conspiracy is the guy that believes in none. And I think that's true. When you're just so mainstream narrative that you never have your own critical thinking and you won't ask questions, I think that's more dangerous than somebody with a tinfoil hat that believes everything.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, definitely.
did anyone watch Starlink last night? Did you look at Starlink?
No.
I missed it, but I'm going to see it tonight. Definitely. It goes over tonight, doesn't it? Let me get the time so I can tell people. Hold on.
Yeah, so last night, Elon Musk we weren't flying them. They're in orbit, I guess. But Starlink is satellites.
Satellites, yeah.
He wants to put 30,000 satellites or something like that into the sky to create internet everywhere. But you could see him last night, and it was like a train. I didn't see him. Me and Ollie went outside for like 5-10 minutes in the cold, in the dark, and we were staring at this big glowing ball in the sky, and we were convinced it was Starlink. It was satellite. It was goddamn Venus. It was
goddamn Venus.
It was goddamn Venus. I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's not really doing much, but we swear it were moving, and it was like, oh, we're looking at Venus. So yeah, so Elon Musk's flying his little satellites over. If you want to see, I think it's tonight, is it, Luke?
Yeah, right. I've got the time for 10:34 p.m. Starlink number 5 and 6 will be visible flying over the UK for 6 minutes from west to southeast.
When you say 5 and 6, is that 2 satellites?
I think each one's numbered. Yeah. So you got Starlink 3 was visible at 3:30 a.m. and then Starlink 5 and 6 are visible at 10:34 p.m. tonight.
Ooh, exciting! Do you think we'll get to Mars in our lifetime, boys? That's Elon Musk's dream and goal. He wants to.
Do you think
I
think we probably will.
I'm unsure.
Yes, from Luke. What are you saying, Lewis?
I'm unsure. And I think the reasoning behind that is, did we go to the moon when we said we did?
Conspiracy.
Go to the moon.
Right, you know what? Let's go down this rabbit hole. What we're saying.
Oh dear.
Did we go to the moon?
I think we did go to the moon, but I don't think we went when we said we did.
Okay, when then?
I think it was after. I don't know how long after, but I think it was after.
You think that America just wanted to beat Russia?
Yes.
For the flag, yeah.
Yes, I do. But what is also conflicting, and they didn't help themselves, in obviously a lot of the footage and things like that NASA did was clearly photoshopped and all the rest of it, and parts of it done in a studio. Yeah. Now, whether that, which was used for broadcasting at the time when they were going back and all the rest of it. So that didn't help them, I don't think.
What do you guys think? Go on, Luke.
I think they did go, but I can't remember who it was now. There was an astronaut. I was watching something on YouTube, but one of the astronauts that went up, who's now getting on a bit, and he said that the footage got damaged on the way back. The footage got damaged on the way back in, and so they had to refilm the.
He was basically saying it is fake footage.
Yeah. It was someone involved. I don't think it was an astronaut. It was someone involved in NASA at the time, and he was saying that it was filmed in the studio, and the original footage was damaged.
Right.
Or they knew it wouldn't come back through the atmosphere, something like that. Something like that.
From Van Allen belt or whatever. It's quite
the one, yeah.
So Vlad, what are you saying? Did we go to the moon or not?
I think we're actually living on the moon, and we need to get to the planet now. So
we're living on the moon.
Get the planet, humanity, and things,
Oh, you think there's people on the moon now? Yeah. Not that we're living.
Oh, we live in it. I thought you meant we're on the moon.
So did I.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you think that we are, that humans are on the moon right now?
No, that we are living on the moon, all of us, right now.
It did mean what we thought you meant.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. Well, who knows?
Interesting.
I had you down for one of these anti-conspiracy people, Vlad. I thought you'd be like, no, I believe everything that I'm told. He thinks we're on the goddamn moon. That's cool. Right, last one. Oh, someone said Matrix, which I assume they're talking about a simulation theory. Oh, God, do we go 9/11 or do we go simulation theory? Okay, quick one. Not a massive explanation, just one sentence max. Vlad, 9/11. Is it what we thought it was? Was it terrorists or is it something else?
I don't think that it was terrorist, but I'm not sure what's. I was not looking like deep into it, but I think it was kind of inside job. Yeah. I think
Okay. Luke, inside job or mainstream narrative?
Not inside job. I think it was not inside job. I think it was terrorist. However, I don't think it's the terrorists that they said it was.
There is a common theme in you guys' responses, which is really interesting because you've all got this view on the world and it filters through the view. Because it's really interesting how you've answered every single question tonight, Luke. Because it's the same. If you look back at the other two questions that I asked, you've got a very similar view on all three of them. Lewis, what we're saying, 9/11?
Similar to Luke on this one. I think it's part and part. I think there were terrorists, but I think they were funded and put up to it by government.
Ooh. What, by the... right. Which government?
US.
Ooh, God, there'll be some people watching this. They'll be going bonkers.
So, I'm not sure.
Now we're actually in David Icke territory.
The only reason I have the thoughts that I have is that these jets have crashed into a building and it's burning I can't remember what the figure is, but it's in the over 600 degrees burning. Yeah. Yet they find, after the buildings have collapsed and bodies have disintegrated, they find the passports of the people that have, I mean, there's clearly something happened, but I think the USA had an agenda at the time to catch Bin Laden. Yeah. And I think they used it for that purpose. But I think it did happen. It was a terrorist act. I don't think they expected it.
What about Tower 7 then? The third tower on that day that went down.
Very odd. I don't know.
Never got hit by a plane.
Yeah,
nothing happened to it, but it came down. What's that all about then?
My thing is always follow the money.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something about Donald? What was he? Was it Rumsfeld or something?
I thought you were going to blame Trump.
No, it announced that they had lost. What was it? Some $1 trillion or something like that.
Right.
So there was a cover-up with some sort of money as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was a bank
hitting the Pentagon. Now that, for me, was the most interesting point about 9/11. The plane that allegedly hit the Pentagon wasn't a plane, apparently. It was
it's a missile.
The Pentagon. Well, in 18 or 19 years later, we've still got no footage, not even a single frame of footage of a plane hitting the Pentagon. And there was when you know what, anybody that's just believes what they've been told, just go search the evidence of that stuff and make your own mind up, with an open mind, because there's too many bits and bobs that I'm not going to pretend I know what went off, but I'm 100% I do not buy the mainstream narrative. I'm not sure what's what, but there's too many bits and bobs. Thermite dust found on the bridge, cleared up real quick. Tower 7 coming down, never getting hit. Pentagon, I think they cleared that part of it and reinforced it or something in the weeks and months before. The put options on airline stock, all kinds of stuff. There's 1,000 things like that. Architects saying that the free fall speed on them towers cannot have happened from planes hitting it, blah, blah, blah. Must have been controlled demolition. There's too many people out there with too much little shreds of evidence that all I would say is, look, I don't know what's what, but at least have a look and make your own mind up.
I think sometimes when these events happen, they either get wind of it and they go, do we stop it or do we let it play out and use what the play is going to be for our own benefit to do whatever we need to do as a government?
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle to believe that the powers that be would have that happen. But you've got to remember, right? Everybody, you shouldn't judge somebody else based on the way you think. So just because you wouldn't consider the population of a country to be a chess piece doesn't mean that somebody with different way of viewing the world wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? So 100%.
I always think back, look at history, look at the atrocity that's happened in history, in particular, wars all around the world, and what happens to people when they're in warlock situations. The most monstrous things come out of people, and the most monstrous things are done to people.
Yeah.
That are unthinkable at the end of the day. And if that happened then, it can happen now really, but it's kept subdued and it's done in a different way.
Last one then, simulation theory. Does everyone know what that is?
Yeah.
So what are we saying? Did we not know? Does no one know what simulation theory is?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't. I never heard before about it.
Elon Musk, billionaire, SpaceX owner, founder, Tesla founder, not a chump. The guy invented bloody rockets. PayPal, yeah, he invented rockets that land themselves. This guy is smart as anything, and he thinks the chances of our reality being actually our reality are very, very slim. He thinks that we are in a simulation. Now, he's a billionaire, and he's not the only one that thinks that. And it's some powerful, rich people trying to figure out experiments to figure out if this is real or not, or if it's a simulation. But his argument goes something like this, and it's not his. Nick Bostrom come out with it, who's kind of like I don't know what you call him, physicist or philosopher, I don't know. But he come out with it, and somebody came out with it before that. Nick Bostrom made it popular. But the theory goes that computers and simulations are getting that kind of technologically advanced and that kind of far forwards that if they continue on the same trajectory as they are now, then at some point we're going to make simulations that are indistinguishable from the life and our world as we experience right now. So we won't be able to know whether it's a simulation or not. It'll be that good. And if you look at the early days of Pong, two blooming things and a ball on the screen, and then look at modern day films or computer games where things are photorealistic, well, where's things going to be 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now? Now, Elon Musk believes that there's 1 in billion, less than 1 in billion chance that this is what we think it is, and we evolved and all that stuff. He thinks this is probably a simulation. What's your thoughts then, Luke? Because you know all about simulation theory.
Well, interestingly, I was watching, I don't know if you've seen the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk. Yeah. I was watching that last night with my son, funnily enough. Yeah, it's really good.
Like a year old. You are slow. Where it gets
I've watched it before, but my lad's 14, so he's just getting to the age where, he can watch the kind of stuff with, so, a bit of swearing and whatever. And, it's very interesting, and I agree with him, but I don't think we're in a simulation now. But I agree with him that at some point we are going to be able to develop an alternate reality so that when you plug yourself into it, it appears totally real. Yeah. I do agree with that. And he is, like you say, he's a genius. I think it said on that podcast that at the age of 10, he went for a test at IBM, like a kind of aptitude test, an IQ test.
Yeah.
And at the age of 10, he scored the highest score that IBM had ever and has ever since seen at 10.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, he's an absolute genius.
Well, he sold his first, I think, a computer game at 12 years old. He coded the computer
game. That's right, yeah.
12 years old, and he sold it. Like somebody bought it. I don't mean he sold a copy to his best mate. I'm saying he sold the code, as in he sold the business almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, the more worrying thing for me is that he's obviously right, isn't he? He's a visionary, and he can see what's coming, and he makes things happen. And he's saying that there's already robots that can be moving faster than the human eye can see. Yeah. So if you think of that in an application like a war scenario, wartime, you've got a machine that could be programmed to literally go and take out an army faster than they can even see the thing as a human.
Did you see that recent interview? He did an interview with, I think it was the American, the equivalent of the RAF.
Congress. Oh, right.
It was like he was on stage or something in front of loads of pilots, I think, like military pilots. And he basically came out with something that shocked them all. The mouths dropped open, but he said, "Oh yeah, plane warfare is done." I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say that exact thing, but plane warfare is done. It's all about drones now. And he was talking in front of a load of blooming military pilots, and he's basically saying, "You're all out of work, boys, because it's all about the drone now." And like, I know what you're on about. He said saying that robots will be. I didn't know he said they are now, but robots are fast.
Yeah,
strobe light to be able to see them.
Yeah, he said that there was already No, I'm sure he said that they already have a robot that can, it'll probably be a servo moving an arm, but can move quicker than the human eye can see it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So we might be in a simulation, Vlad and Lewis. What do you reckon to that?
Just quickly, I've got a very different opinion to Elon Musk. I don't like him. I think he's shit at business.
David Icke hates him, mate. So you're in David Icke territory now.
There we go. Yes, he's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes, he's incredibly clever at marketing. But a number of his business moves, and when you look at his businesses over the years, he's nearly bankrupt all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's crap at management, but he's a very, very clever marketer. Like with the Cybertruck. Come on, that thing's never going to get built as it is. But how much money did he raise by saying you can have a Cybertruck for $40,000 by just $100 reservation? How much money did he take on that weekend of launching that? I think it was something like 140 million or something like that. Great. There's my down payment. Do you know what I mean? Now I can try and leverage some money elsewhere to start putting things into production. But he never had the money in the first place. So he had to do a gimmick. He had to do a stunt like that to actually get this Cybertruck built. But it's never going to look like that. It's never going to pass standards, is it? Road standards.
I'll be honest. Like, some people love the way it looks, but I think
it's ugly.
It's real ugly.
Yeah.
It's wild, but like a lot of people like it, don't they? I had a deposit on a Model 3. You know the Model 3? Before
yeah.
Seen one.
Yeah.
I think 2016 or something like that. I put a deposit down on it. Like, when I saw it in the flesh, I'm like, I can't drive that. Like, I cancelled it. I got my money back. Like, I want to support Elon Musk. I want to support like self-driving autonomous vehicles are sexy if they actually work, but I can't drive that, bro. And that Cybertruck thing it's like dog's dinner. Vile.
Did you see the PR release for that? It was a disaster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where he smashed the window.
Yeah. I felt sorry for him. I was like, no, you're kidding me.
A lot of people said that was done on purpose.
But whether it's, do you think it was done on purpose to create controversy, or do you think it was just piss poor preparation?
That's what a lot of people say. I mean,
I can't imagine they didn't test that glass, and then to throw the ball in and it just smashes.
I genuinely think it was piss poor preparation. I just think that's the way the guy operates.
Yeah,
he throws together stuff very, very quickly in an idea to try and generate, revenue from that without fully looking at it. And he hasn't got the right management in place to oversee doing a launch or, testing.
Well, I'll tell you what, the customer service side of things when I was on that Tesla was awful. Like, I'm not saying it is in the US, but it was in the UK. I got my money back. I'm not complaining. I got my money back, but it was awful, like genuinely awful. So yeah, but I'll never be the guy that says Elon Musk's a rubbish businessman, because at the end of the day, am I a billionaire yet? No. So like, who am I to say? Do you know what I mean? But I get that. But yeah, David Icke says he's an evil killer and all this stuff.
Is it?
No, I don't think he's an evil killer. Definitely don't think he's an evil killer.
No. I mean, who knows? He'd be a good baddie. He'd be a good baddie, wouldn't he? In one of these films. He'd be a good baddie. Or pulls out his rockets and blooming self-landing like robots and stuff. Like, Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
but like you said, Lewis, he's clearly, when you watch him in interviews and stuff, he's clearly got autism.
Yeah. Oh, definitely on the spectrum at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's going to potentially, along with that, a lot of the time comes social issues, doesn't it? And if you're managing a team, I can imagine being that can be a big problem, can't it?
Yeah.
It could be a big problem. And if he's not got a good team in his management, I mean, when you watch there's a documentary about him, about his life as he grew up, and the original guy that founded Tesla with him, or put a lot of money into Tesla, they had a big fallout, didn't they? And he ended up sacking him because he obviously just has an issue with picking the right people in management. So I agree with you. I agree with you with that.
I tell you what, boys, I didn't know if we were speaking to ourselves. I didn't know if we'd be like 5 people watching this because we're all ranting about David Icke and 9/11 and all random stuff. I've just had a look because I couldn't get it up. I've just had a look. Like, it's saying 52 people, but on Facebook it's saying 46 people. Our typical audience on one of these things is like 20, 30 people live, and then a few hundred people watch later.
Yeah.
Really?
For 50 odd people to be on here listening to us ranting.
Talking to this.
Lockdown, baby. Nobody's got anything better to do, have they?
Love it.
Somebody just texted me, I kid you not, the Cybertruck is sexy and Elon Musk is a genius. The text just came through. I kid you.
There you go.
Kid you not. Just to prove it, I kid you not. I won't show you text me, but because it's not right of me to do that. But
there you go.
There you go. Text.
There we
to
go.
my phone.
Unfortunately, I can't see you all the time, Matt. I can see only.
Oh, great. Yeah. No, someone texted me anyway. So anyway, let's get back to the boring stuff just for 5 minutes. Are you guys all right for time or?
Yeah.
Because we're on the beer.
We
and Vlad.
Yeah, we usually do an hour, and it usually ends up being an hour and a quarter. So this would be the time for finishing. But if you guys want to just keep shooting the poo, then we can.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Everyone all right?
Yeah.
Got some beers left.
Yeah, let's keep going then. I'm on the Malibu. Let's keep going. Right, so we've talked. We're putting the world to rights, boys.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about a bit of boring stuff as well, just because people probably want to hear about that stuff too. So everyone think of a tip or a thought, like some kind of value that we can give to people, even if it's just a moment to think about something or something that can apply directly to the business or whatever. I'll start off while you guys think about something, but I will say, look, let this moment highlight the importance of home-based business and an internet-based business, right? We have been relatively unaffected. We work from home anyway, and we employ or subcontract a lot of people. We've got a big team now, and there's people all over the place. We're not into hundreds, but we're into double figures, comfortably into double figures of staff or people we employ. Most of them have still got jobs. Most of them have still got contracting things. We have laid a couple of people off, but we've taken 1 or 2 on as well. So it wasn't so much the coronavirus as much as just one of them things that had to happen, and it just happened during the period. But we're all right. We're still feeding those mouths, and we're still all right. Now, the only changes in my life are I'm not going to the gym, and I'm not seeing the family I would normally see so much because I only see my little girl. But other than that, we're not seeing anyone else. So we're not going to the gym, but we're working from home. Nothing's changed. The power of a home-based business is that when other people are literally losing their incomes and losing their livelihoods and losing everything, and God bless them, like I'm not trying to gloat or anything, it's awful. But like, if you'd have been building a spare time business or a part-time business when times were good and when all this stuff weren't going on, and a lot of you guys watching this will have, then all it means is when you from home, you can just double down on that and you can go more in depth into it. And it doesn't have to change everything. If you own a restaurant, you've been wiped out. If you own a lot of businesses, you've been wiped out. But if you own a home-based business, and especially like an Amazon or e-commerce business, you're doing real good right now. Now, I've seen 2 recessions now. Ooh, what was that? I've seen 2 recessions now. This is going to be the 3rd, because anyone that thinks we're not going into recession's mad. This is going to be the 3rd recession. And I don't want to say I'm going to come out unscathed, because clearly it's going to affect everybody and everything and the economy, and that's going to have a knock-on effect. But it's looking like we're going to be all right. If I'm not in business 3-5 years from now, then something else went wrong. It's not the recession that would have wiped me out, but not everybody can say that. And that's not because I'm smart. That's not because I'm Elon Musk. It's because the majority of my earnings are from, and always have been, from online business. So if you've not got an online business, then it's time to set up an online business, because you could be making hay whilst the sun shines. How good are sales right now, Vlad, Luke, Lewis? How good are sales?
Amazing. Q4 every day.
Good.
Q5.
Someone just comes to call it. It's Q5. It's Q4 every day, guys, at the minute. Now, everybody's seeing that. A lot of people are literally out of work. They're being laid off. And the struggle's not coming yet, because the government have been bailing people out. You can't expect them to bail you out forever if you want to live anything more than a mediocre, very less than average life or lifestyle. So please, let this be a motivator. Let this be a catalyst. Expand, don't contract, learn more and implement more, and start a business. I want you to succeed. I don't want you 2-3 years from now to have been wiped out, jobless, wondering what happened. 3 years from now, you could have a thriving business that's going through the roof. And that's my message to you. It's not so much a tip. It's a message. Look, start a home-based business. Start an internet business. It's where it's at. We're in a massive growth curve. Nothing's going to stop it. The internet's where it's at. So crack on. Right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Lewis.
I would say multiple streams of income.
Oh, that was my one.
Oh, sorry,
damn!
I'll tell you what.
I'll drink.
Next, everybody was going to say that next. I've got a good one then. That leads us perfectly into what we should talk about next. Multiple streams of income. Let's chat about it, boys. What you got? What do you want to get? How do you see it? Talk to me.
So the way it fits for me is I've got property.
Yeah.
I sell property, and it's been a bit obviously dead. Can't really do much. Nothing happening at the minute. Still got some rents coming in that are, DSS sort of tenants and stuff like that. So that's all good. But I have got properties that are sat there that have been renovated that are empty. So I'm paying council tax on, mortgage on, because they're ready to sell. Basically, that's the reason. So that's quiet. But even though, like I said, sort of earlier in the conversation, I've been very, very active on good old Gumtree that's generating me a shed load of interest. And like I say, I've potentially got a lease option agreement subject to contract, and I've got one that's sold subject to survey. So I feel like I've done my job really, rather than sitting on my laurels thinking about the estate agent is going to handle it all for me. I've got up off my own arse, been a bit resourceful, and generated interest and sort of done the job for them really. So I'm really happy now that I've created that buzz of activity, and it's there. Another one of my businesses that not everybody will know about, but know that I've got a construction-based business, an advertising construction-based business. That's dead. That's doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? There's no money coming in for that at all. Yes, great. We've done the old government thing, got some business rates and relief and all that way. And the way I structure myself with different directorships and shareholders and stuff, I'll get payment from that. So that's all happy. But as a business, it's sat there doing nothing. But the eBay and Amazon business, it's Q4 every day. It's great. So having those multiple streams of income, fantastic. I'm in and that's why I'm so chilled out, because while everything's going to shit in the world, and some people are really having it tough that might be in a normal traditional employee position, a little bit worried. They're wondering what's going on. And there's all the theory of with the 5G stuff, with what the one world government wants to do, and everybody's going to be on a universal basic income and all that lot. That isn't going to happen. I don't think that happened for a long, long time. And all the marketing that you're seeing from the banks and stuff like that, don't worry. Do you want to defer your mortgage? The 0% interest on your overdraft, blah, blah, blah. That's all well and good. But you try speaking to these companies, getting through to the right department, getting through to the right person, Do they even know what's going on? No, they don't. And it's going to be like that once we come out of lockdown. There's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, you were going to help me, Mr. Bank. Da, 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 da. And they're not, because the banks will look after themselves. So there is a lot of carnage to come, I think. A lot of carnage, 100% on that. And we're nowhere near that yet. Nowhere near.
No. People are seeing the stock market do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're back to normal. No, we're not back to normal. We're going to get kicked in the knackers super hard, super soon.
Yeah. I reckon the recession is probably a year to 18 months away. That's where I think it is. I think we'll come out of lockdown. There'll be a hive of activity, in particular in the housing market. There'll be a lot of people that have, spent time together and actually thought, I don't like you. You're not the partner for me. Want to get a divorce and stuff. There'll be a lot of people that have been sat at home, nagging wives have been going at them, paint the fence, jet wash the conservatory. All the houses will be spick and span, and they'll think, actually, there is a recession that's going to come. Should we chance our arm and stick our house on the market, see where we get? So I think for the first 6 months, housing market's going to go up slightly because there's going to be a lot of activity happening there. But definitely, once businesses have failed, they can't catch up. They're not getting the right information from the government because they don't want to overstretch and over leverage themselves. The banks are not going to know. Some of the Deutsche Bank is literally on its arse about to collapse. Once that domino falls, it's going to start knocking other banks over. And I think a year from now is when the shit's really going to hit the fan. So I think while people are furloughed, while people have got time on their hands, best time to be in an online business. That's
one of the horrifying things that I see happening is people keep saying, "Oh yeah, there's going to be a boom." Like everybody's not had anything to spend the money on, and they're going to come out, and then there's going to be this economic boom and stuff. But nobody I know that had no money before has got any more money now. They've all spent everything. They're just spending it on Amazon, which is why you boys are getting Q4s.
Yeah,
so they're all still at zero or minus.
Yeah.
If you was before, you still are. Nobody's going, well, I've not had to spend any money for ages, so I've got $1,000 in the bank. It's not happening.
No.
So I think there'll be a couple of crazy weekends. I think everybody in the shops, restaurants, bars, clubs, I think it'll be crazy. But that'll soon
that'll go. That'll be a false flag, that definitely.
So what about you guys then, Luke?
No, I agree. And I think as well, like you said about people have got maybe a little influx of money. Maybe, Matt, they have saved a little bit, but it won't be a lot. If they've saved, say, the money from having to travel to work, fill up the car, they've cancelled the car insurance for a couple of months and they've sawned the car, that kind of thing. You see a lot of these discussions online. So there could be a little bit of extra liquid cash knocking about for people. But yeah, like Lewis said, it's not going to last. Yeah. And it is a worry.
Will that not be offset by the fact that a lot of people have lost their jobs as well? And it's all right talking about the furlough and all this stuff, assuming everyone's getting paid. But if you're a self-employed person that pays yourself, hasn't put much through the books, or hasn't
cash in hand business.
Well, yeah, or if you're the kind of person that you pay yourself with dividends mostly, and you've got a very small. Like there's a lot of people that aren't going to be in a good position. So for those few that have maybe saved a few £100 or $1,000 or two, is that not going to be offset by the people that have been wiped out and they're borrowing on credit cards and borrowing off the mums and dads and all that stuff, do you think?
Yeah, you're probably right, Matt. Yeah, it's going to be a riot. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess by the time it's all done. It's pretty worrying because, like you say, for us, it's fine. At the moment, we're doing okay. Yeah. But if the economy takes a downturn, then, people are not going to spend that much money online. They're not going to spend that much money anywhere. No. And that's a worry. It is a worry. But, I mean, it depends on what your market is, doesn't it? It's like for us, our stock is generally used anyway. And I would like to think anyone that buys new, what's that noise? Can anyone hear that? It's not very loud.
Let me close it. Sometimes these microphones pick weird sounds up.
Sound like birds chirping.
Is that better? And I clear?
Yeah. It's like birds chirping or something. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. So used goods. I would like to think that people that would buy new before will default to buying a slightly cheaper option, which is what we provide. So, we might do all right with it. But, in terms of the economy long term, I do worry a little bit, to be honest, in the next few months.
Yeah. What about you? So what about you, Vlad? Have you got streams of income? I know you mentioned just Amazon. You've just got the Amazon thing going on. Have you got anything else?
This is the thing. I never experienced such situation in the world, so I can't say much about it. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, how old are you, Vlad? How old are you? I can't figure out if you look like you're in your 20s, but I don't know if that's. Are you in your 20s?
28.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'd have guessed about 26, 27. But I didn't want to be insulting if you're like 35 and like 26. Not that would be insulting. If someone told me I look at 25, I'd be like, yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I feel like teenager still. So.
Yeah. Luke, you had some property, didn't you?
Yeah, we've still got it. So what's interesting is we're an accidental landlord, me and Katie, my other half. So we had a house, and in the recession, was like 2008, the last time the property market had a significant downturn. We put that house on the market. Basically, we bought it for about 80. We spent about 15 on it, so we were 95 grand in, and then it was valued at 135 within a couple of years. So happy days. Anyway, we put it on the market for like 133 ish to get a quick sale, and then literally that was on the Friday, and on the Monday everyone stopped buying houses. The market started tanking, and it was a horror show. Anyway, it went down the value to about 79, so less than we bought it for.
So you just rented it?
Well, we needed to move because it wasn't big enough for the kids and blah blah blah. So we ended up renting that house and renting another short term. Yeah. So we made no money on it. It costs money, doesn't it? Because you think to yourself, well, you just rent your house and you make the same amount of money, but you lose money every month. Like we had to put a new boiler in. It's like £2,500. We had issues on the roof. It was £1,500, and we weren't making much profit on the house. We weren't making enough, and I didn't appreciate that as a novice property magnate. So we just got to the point where we were thinking recently, well, maybe we'll sell it again because the value's gone. It's within a plus again, by quite a margin. But we've got a new tenant that moved in. I mean, last year we had a nightmare with the tenant that was there. They ruined it and they caused loads of damage. But we've done some work to the property now, and this tenant dropped in our lap. They wanted to pay us more than the market value. And they're great. They've been fantastic. They're doing improvement works to the house. They're putting value on. They're talking about putting a new kitchen in. And
when did you last see the house?
Just before the lockdown.
Okay. They've turned it into a weed farm since then.
No, mate. No, it's a nice farm. Really, we kind of knew them before, not as friends, but they were neighbours. When we lived there, they were neighbours. Right. And it's like a little kind of, I won't say village, but it's it's a small village, and the mum lives there, and they want to be near the mum basically. And there weren't any houses big enough and ours fit the bill, so they said we'll give you an extra 150 quid a month. So happy days. So it's working out well anyway. So the thing is though, she's quite unwell, the mother. She's got health issues, and with all this going on, you wonder, is she going to be vulnerable? She's classed as vulnerable for this, and God forbid something had happened to her, not just for my pocket, but she's got a few kids and stuff. But it's not
stay in. She'll stay in and stay away from it all. Yeah,
well, hopefully she'll stay in. She's sensible, and hopefully it'll work out well, and we'll just ride this one out.
So are you still earning full time from the used books, and then you've got that, or is other stuff?
So we've got the used books that's providing the income, and then we've got that. We've also got a bit of a business on eBay that sells like clothing, but I've not paid any attention to that really for about a year, and it's still ticking over every month, which is great. do a little bit of print on demand on Amazon USA.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's shut down at the moment.
What, merch by Amazon or?
Yeah, merch by Amazon.
Yeah.
And they've kind of temporarily closed that, haven't they? I've not checked on it in the last few days, but it was closed.
Right.
But that's a real passive thing. So
Vlad just said why. Did you say why, Vlad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was staffing issues in the warehouse, as far as I know. They just put a hold on it. I don't know why they've stopped it, but I can still log in.
It's like for everyone, not just your account.
Yeah, for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so merch, but you've got people, and this goes back to Lewis's point that you need diversity, because you had people that have built massive businesses on merch by Amazon, successful businesses pulling lots of money in. Overnight, they just turn it off. That is a horrible position to be in. So
the upside of merch, though, is if there's other platforms, isn't there? Like Redbubble.
Yeah.
I've been making money from Redbubble for years. I've not done anything with Redbubble for years now. I don't know when it was that we uploaded the designs, but we lived in this house almost 2 years, and it wasn't the week before we moved. So maybe the last time we did some work on Redbubble was three years ago. We still get sales. I can't remember the last one, but it's been the last few days we've had a sale from the equivalent of maybe a few hours work or no more than a
years
day
ago.
I'm still getting paid years later. But the beauty of it is you can always put the merch stuff on Teespring, on Redbubble, and all these other kind of platforms, which is interesting. But that's truly passive, that stuff. You do the design,
great.
And then you sit back and you watch the checks come in. It comes with its drawbacks as well, but yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think that's it for us. My plan is I want to move into, now that we've rented a unit for about a year now, the liability for commercial rent is much better than for residential. So I think I'm going to either build or buy a commercial unit to rent out as well soon. That's the next investment, I think. Terrifying. I'm not going to rush into a commercial property ever again. No, not a big one. I mean units, lockups, small business units.
Yeah, just make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, due diligence.
Yeah, make sure you know what you're doing. Because I tell you right now, obviously, I own commercial property. I own residential property. I got all kinds of businesses here, there, and everywhere, bits and bobs that we're doing. But commercial property is the one thing I won't rush into again. I'll rent next time. If I need a commercial property, I won't buy again.
No, I mean buy to rent out.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You won't do that?
No.
Why not? What reasons?
Because obviously, to you guys that know me, I owned a nightclub. So I earned a bunch of money online doing what I do now. Not exactly what I do now, but other stuff. So not Secret Wealth projects and stuff. That's all new. But I sold a lot of information products, did a lot of affiliate marketing, SEO, all kinds of bits and bobs. So everything internet marketing related that was non-wealth, I did it in the early 2000s, mid 2000s and stuff. I got bored of that and kind of hated it. And I started to really hate the look of four walls. So I didn't have a team. I didn't have somebody that worked at home with me. I was on my own, staring at a wall. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna either buy a Lamborghini. It was a Gallardo at the time. They don't make them anymore. But either buy a Lamborghini Gallardo or buy a nightclub. And I was on the fence. I went for the nightclub. So I bought a nightclub, set the nightclub up. Bought a Ferrari while I owned the nightclub, and I'm not trying to brag. Sorry if that sounds like I am. I'm not. But then I closed the nightclub down after a few years. We had a good few years as well. The nightclub was doing great. My online income was doing great. But the more I neglected my online income, the more it did this over time. And bear in mind, I'd neglected it for years and years and years. It took ages for it to go down. But I thought, you know what? I need to get back into my core, which is online. That's where it's at. And I need out of this nightclub game because for a million reasons it sucks. So I shut down my nightclub, and that was, when was that? 5 years ago, maybe? 5 years ago, probably, I shut that nightclub down. I still own the goddamn property right now, but every single year that property costs me about £25,000 to keep closed. So you imagine 5 years of no rent coming in, because I've not rented it out, no rent coming in, and 25 grand a year going out. So you do the maths, 5 years times 25 grand, I'm over 100 grand down on keeping that place closed. Now, it just so happens that the sale's going through currently. So fingers crossed, all being well, it will go. And the person buying it is going to do very, very well from it because they're a property developer. They're going to do what I intended on doing, which is turn it into a bunch of flats. But I don't have the time or the inclination or the experience to do a massive commercial to residential conversion project. So I'm going to leave it to somebody that does, and that's their primary business. And they're going to make good money out of it. I'm selling the nightclub premises for less than I paid for it, which sucks. And it's cost me over 100 grand to keep closed over the last few years in business rates and insurance and all that stuff. So I'm disgruntled and a little bit burnt by commercial property, because the money we made in the good times trading as a nightclub, a lot of that has been offset by the fact that I've had to pay all that money on a closed down premises. But you think that mortgage payments and rates on houses is bad. You want to try it on commercial property where they're taking £1 grand a month off you or more. Do you know what I mean? So, but you know what you're doing. I know you're not stupid and all that stuff, but definitely won't go.
It's quite a niche market, though, isn't it? Buying a nightclub, you know what I mean? It's not like
it was a bad market 10 years
down.
ago. That market's done. The one saving grace of nightclubs is they can get planning permission on them for apartments, and if you do that, make some money at it. But there's no point buying them otherwise, because that's done. Anyway, how did I get onto that weird random rant? Where did that come from?
David Icke, commercial property.
Never mind Carol Baskin, it's bloody David Icke tonight.
It could have gone. It could have easily gone the other way. I could have had a tenant, or I could have done what I intended on doing. My problem is, and a lesson learned from that was, timing's everything. In the commercial property game, timing's everything. Like it really is. But yeah. Anyway, so it's getting on, innit? Do anyone want to talk about anything before we go? Has anyone got any last minute things we want to chat about, like gold, silver, stock market?
Ooh.
Price of oil is crazy. Was it minus $40 a barrel?
And they think that's not going to have knock-on effects for the economy.
Exactly.
That alone is going to have knock-on effects for the economy. Never mind the fact that all this stuff going on has put businesses and people out of work. People don't realise what's coming. It's bad.
Scary.
Not so much for Amazon sellers, though, folks. You're in the right place at the right time, genuinely. But it's bad out there. It's going to be real bad, and we're not even seeing it yet. It's coming.
Right, question I'll pose to you all: Bitcoin, yay or nay? Is it going to happen, or is it going to go to zero?
Nay.
Nay.
So we've got a nay from Luke. What are you saying, Vlad? He's the younger generation. Our Vlad is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll know. What? No.
I'm Amazon guy. Other things, I'm not.
Okay. What about you, Lewis? And then I'll give you my thoughts.
I'm in crypto. I'm probably about 20 grand in. Right. Doing a little bit of TA, but I'm a fundamentals guy. I swing trade. That's where I'm at with it all.
Fundamentals of Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, fundamentals of the markets really, and what's happening. I'm more into where the market's going, what's happening in the world, how's that going to affect it, and all the rest of it, as opposed to over-analysing bloody patterns and stuff like that, which I think are pretty much subjective, to be honest with you.
Right.
So for me, and where I see Bitcoin, it's total, speculative at the end of the day. But I'm in it. It's a bit of fun. When Bitcoin was sort of, was it September, something like that? I can't remember when I got into it, but I'm sure it was around September 2017. I got in at, $3 grand, got out at 17. Thank you very much. And then I did a little bit more, swing trading on that, and I've made, a few grand here and there and stuff like that. And then I bought, I could probably quite easily make 1,500 quid a month just out of, trading the dips and stuff like that. I don't do any leverage, don't do any margin or anything like that. I'm not confident enough to get into that kind of thing. I'm just looking at, some patterns, but just, going off with gut intuition and what's happening in the world that's actually affecting Bitcoin to know when it's going to dip and when it's going to rise, really. And that's
what's the Bitcoin price at right now without me googling it? Do you know?
it is. I've got Coinbase right up at the minute. It's £5,607.24.
What's that in dollars?
It will be, if I convert that. Let's have a look.
About 6,500 or something like that.
Something similar to that. Yeah,
it's been hovering around that for so long. Worries me. It's been hovering around that for so long. My thoughts on Bitcoin. I mean, good on you if you want to go for it. I mean, the Warren Buffetts of the world say,
"Oh yeah, they hate it. He hates it." Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna, any. It's opposite of what he does and understands. But for me, people say, "Well, what's the value in Bitcoin?" And the value is the value that the market puts on it. But there is, people say there is an inherent value in Bitcoin. And the bottom line is there's no inherent value in Bitcoin unless you're talking about the electricity that went into making it. There is no value. It's a market. It's a supply and demand thing. You think it's worth 6.5. Somebody else thinks it's worth 7. They'll buy it, and vice versa. That's all it is for me. So for me, it pays no dividends, so you can't earn money from it, and there's a chance it could go to zero because inherently it's only worth what the market believes it's worth and nothing more. Exactly. Whereas, say, a property or a share of a company, there is some tangible assets to it. So for me, I think Brave New World, go for it, and I think it's, for me, in my mind, I don't expect it to go to zero, but I also don't expect it to go to 100 grand a Bitcoin. I don't know. And that's the truth of it. Like Vlad, I don't know. Yeah. But I do know it's a gamble. And if you're not willing to just flip a coin, and if you think it's a slam dunk upwards thing, then that's mad. I think it's something that could go either way. And that's why I'm saying out. I want a dividend or some assets based if I'm going to invest, really. Yeah. That's the way I see it. But I mean, props to you. I think it's great. And I think 10 years from now, Bitcoin might get ring. Maybe 20 years, maybe 100 years it is. But I don't know. And there's that chance it could go to zero. And that scares me off. So
for me, I find it fascinating. It's a hobby for me.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying immersing myself in it, really.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. What do you think to gold and silver then?
I don't know anything about gold and silver other than the price tanked and now it's shot straight back up. So I don't. I've never held any. I've never traded any. So I don't know. I've no idea.
So what they say about gold and silver, precious metals, is when the economy's bad, when recession's looming, and when things are looking like they're going to go to poop, and it's a store of value. So when fiat currencies or paper money looks like it's going to go to nothing, and when the printing presses are rolling and they're printing trillions of dollars and it's all getting watered down, when people start losing faith in money, they start kind of storing the wealth in precious metals because, as Kiyosaki calls it, it's, what does he call it? God's currency. Gold and silver is God's currency. That's what he says. Again, there's no dividend from gold and silver. So put your money in a house, you get a rent. Put your money in a dividend-paying share, you get a dividend. Put your money in gold and silver, you don't. But like paper assets or whatever are worth nothing if it all goes to poop. Whereas gold and silver may be tradable. So in these times, gold and silver goes up because people are expecting hard financial difficulties because they're expecting recession. So that's why you're seeing gold go up. Silver's usually a bit more volatile, but we'll probably follow it over time. So gold and silver are doing what? 1 second, Luke, I'll come to you. Gold and silver doing what they said that they would. When the economy is looking shaky, gold and silver starting to do this, or gold at least, with silver to follow. But what they said is Bitcoin would be the new gold. I remember a couple of years back them saying Bitcoin is going to be the new gold, and people will take the money out of normal stuff and put it in Bitcoin because they're scared of fiat currency going to nothing. But that's not happening. Bitcoin's seeming to do a bit of this by the looks of it, whereas gold is starting to do that. So that's just my observations. I'm not Bitcoin. I'm not gold. I own no gold. I own no silver. I own no Bitcoin. Just watching all of it. Yeah. Luke, go on.
So I would love to buy some gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I believe it's very difficult to find at the moment. So in a time like this, I was going to ask if anyone knows, either with us four or on the comments, where can you get hold of it?
Okay.
What's the best way to get hold of it?
There's a guy that owns he actually started this website back in 2008 because he was trying to get some gold and stuff because things were going to crap back then. And now he owns the biggest online gold bullion dealer in the UK. And it's got bullionbypost.co.uk, and he owns gold. He owns gold.co.uk as well. Now, you can't get a lot of precious metals right now, or you can't get them without a crazy premium. So if you want to get some silver right now, you can get silver Britannia coins on eBay for like 1 ounce coins. The spot value, so the value of the silver is about 12, 13 quid, depending on what day it is. And these coins are going for 30 quid. So what's called the premium that's being applied to these coins is very high right now. So you wouldn't buy silver for the spot price, the silver coin, because it's so inflated because of this supply and demand issue. Now, what you can do, and maybe more so on the gold side of things because there's not such a premium, is you can buy with people like gold.co.uk or bullion by post. You can buy it and they'll lock in the price. So they'll lock in today's price. And for example, silver, they add VAT to it. So for you to take a delivery of silver, you're going to lose 20% in VAT, which you're not going to get back. Plus there's the premium because they've turned it from spot into a coin or a bar. So you've got the premium and you've got the VAT, and it's not looking so sexy when you look at it like that. Gold, and then there's capital gains tax implications as well. But what these companies will do is they'll sell it to you at today's price, and they've got it in a vault in Switzerland. So you basically, you don't take physical delivery of the metal. You can do, but you don't. But you don't pay the VAT if you do it that way. So you could buy silver, leave it in their vault so it's safe in Switzerland, and get around a lot of the kind of tax implications of it and all that stuff.
Oh, right.
So you might struggle getting physical precious metals into your hand unless you're willing to pay a premium, because you can't get them. Everything's dried up. You can't get them anywhere. But you can get them. They're just not delivering them. I think that's the bigger issue. But you can lock in the price and take delivery later. So deferred delivery, or you can move them around basically in vaults and stuff. There's a little primer, a little precious metals primer for you there, boys and girls. Didn't expect you were tuning in for that, did you? You expected Matt to drink some Malibu, David Icke nonsense, say AI is going to kill us all, and then go to bed, roll over, and fart. And here we are talking about precious metals on the Secret Wealth Project.
10 to 9.
Love it.
Is it worth having a quick look through the comments? There's quite a lot of comments here, isn't there?
Luke, you read them out, mate, because I can't see them.
Let's have a little look. Right, let me just reload them through Facebook on the old phone.
We'll do these. We'll do the little comments and questions, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and staying for so long, guys. And my thing,
deserve a medal.
48 people it's saying be live right now, so that's a good turnout, boys. Probably turned out to see Vlad's beautiful face. Nobody's seen him. Nobody's ever seen him.
Vlad's got a lockdown haircut, haven't you, boy?
He has. Vlad's also got
so nothing special.
Vlad's also got following. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Vlad tonight. Can't wait to see Vlad tonight." He's a legend in the making.
And he's quiet here.
So go on then, Luke. Go for it, and we'll finish the call dead on 9, guys. So we've got 8 minutes, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good. Right, one sec. Let me just find one.
It'll have been the longest Never Mind the Buy Box ever at 2 hours, but I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been good. Right, first one I think it's for me. Joanne Berry, hi Joanne, said, "Do you offer to buy or collect for free?" So,
used book, this is, isn't it?
This is for used books, but I think you could apply this for anything. For if you do any kind of collection service, I think you can apply it for that. We actually changed our tactic and said that we will either take for free or we will donate to a charity of their choice with proof of that. Then we send it to them. So we would, to local charities. So we'll take the books off them because they would give them to charity anyway, and we will pay the charity on their behalf. That's what we do. If that makes sense.
So how do you make a profit then? If if somebody gives you $100, but they say, yeah, I want you to give the money to charity.
No, to give the money, what we do is we would give the equivalent we'd normally pay the charity.
So if you'd normally pay them a tenner for those $100, you'll give the tenner to charity. So you take it for free, but you give, oh, that's good. I like that. That's good.
So it's like, because they don't want the money for it,
yeah,
but it incentivizes them to give it to me instead of someone else.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Right, Kieran Hood has said that he sold a book on candlestick making this week. I think that's going back to the that noise is loud again.
Is it loud there as well? Can you guys hear it, Lewis and Vlad?
I can't hear anything.
Oh, right, crazy. Okay. Said that he'd sold a book on candlestick making this week, which again goes back to the strange things people have started doing again.
Butcher and bakers.
Baker, candlestick maker.
So Tadaz has said, Vlad Coki said that all these conspiracy nonsense is a good IQ test.
Right. So Vlad's anti-conspiracy theorist. He's not let on tonight, but he is.
Okay.
So I can see. Sorry, go on.
Go on, Steve. I know you can't see the names. So Stephen Davis has said that the first moon landing was false. Stephen, you conspiracy theorist. The craft hit a 5G. The craft hit a 5G mast and went off the edge of the flat Earth. Nice one, Stephen. And that Tower 7 was due to cladding. The collapse of Tower 7 was due to cladding.
Cladding?
Anyone heard that?
No.
Okay, someone else, Nadia Adalata said, watch the documentary Loose Change on YouTube. This was when we were talking about the towers collapsing. Loose Change on YouTube.
Loose Change. It's very old now, but eye-opening and proof in it. Proof.
Yeah, I think I've seen
that. Matt Cuddifford said, artificial intelligence will be the end of us.
I don't like to say it because people turn off and they think I'm a nutter, but I think that is our biggest existential threat right now.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, so Daniel Christian, who I've seen a few of his posts on the group recently, seems like quite a busy guy on his own website and stuff. He said he just put a Facebook ad. I think he's talking about diversifying, like Lewis said, putting adverts out. Just put out a Facebook ad for a PA secretary, had 25 amazing candidates in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Experienced folks, talented, clever people who have been asked because of COVID. Yeah.
And where did he put that? Where did he put that?
On Facebook.
So now's the time to be hiring then. So I know somebody that's trying to hire an accountant, and they should probably be jumping at the chance now because this is when people legitimately going to have lost their jobs, isn't it? And good people are out there now.
Sean Gilbert, hi Sean. Always on every single live that I have ever been involved with at all. Said online's way forward. I still worry as more people lose their jobs, the less money they'll spend online, that it'll hurt sales, ultimately.
It will, but you know what? What will happen is they won't go to Zizzi's and have that sit down £30 meal for the couple. What they'll do is they'll go buy that thing on Amazon. Like, they will still spend the money. People will still buy stuff. They'll just be more careful. So really the weak stuff is going to get shaped, like it's going to be gone. Like the weak businesses, like that blooming Kath. Is it Kath Kidston? Was one of these? No. What is it? Laura something. Laura Ashley. Yeah. Laura Ashley. What a garbage store selling garbage for so long.
I know.
Like, it's a joke. If it was ever good, it's not in the last few years. Like in tough times, businesses like that are going to go bang. No, not Amazon. Not Amazon, Sean. You're okay.
Yeah, I agree. Someone said Bitcoin to the moon. If it's not, I'm screwed big time.
Who's that? Who put that?
That's Alexander Drabotovich. Okay, so Steve Davis has asked, how useful is Scout IQ for selling used books? Is it essential? So Scout IQ is a scanning software, like
I thought you used Neato Scan.
Yeah, I did use Neato Scan, but Scout IQ has come out since we spoke about that.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's very promising. I prefer it. It's quicker, and it gives.
Has it got the downloadable?
Yep.
Database. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the thing I like about Scout IQ is Caleb Roth is a data geek in America. Really good guy. You know, very his attention to detail. He's got a really good attention to detail. Everything he produces is top quality, and he's made this program as a response to the terrible apps that are available for book scholars. Basically, it's just designed initially for books, and he's rolled it out to the UK, and it's a really good piece of kit.
Yeah.
I would say, Stephen, it's not essential, but it will speed you up by 10 times. You know, if you're not using it, you'll get 10 times the speed easily. And it's a solid piece of kit. It's a good piece of kit. We're using it every single day. So I'd say go for it. At least try it out.
I think this last question, one that's just come through. I don't know who said it.
We've got, just local groups. This is Daniel Christian again about the Facebook ad.
Right.
So just local groups. I expected to get time wasters, but ended up hiring her. Oh, great. Not paid ads, just organic.
Nice.
It's very interesting.
What? So Facebook groups, does he mean, yeah?
Yeah, Facebook. Just local groups. So posting on local groups. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, nice one. So the last question, I don't know who's put it. Loads of businesses going under. Could this be worse than 2008? I think there's a lot of stimulus package out there. There's a lot of people that are wanting this to not to be anything, but I think ultimately it's going to fail under the weight of its own BS. So I think we've had an asset bubble across all assets near enough for so long, propped up by cheap or free money with tiny interest rates. All the stimulus in the world's not going to be able to fix the mess we're in my opinion. So we might get a few more puffs, hot air to keep us up, but it ain't going to be much. It's not going to be for long. So yes, I think this could be worse than 2008. In fact, almost certainly. I'm sitting in cash right now, not because I like cash. Cash sucks. Cash is the worst thing ever. I'm sitting in cash because I'm ready to go all in, and I mean all in. Property.
And that's the thing, Matt. It's got to be time because I'm similar to you at the minute, in cash, and I'm waiting to buy assets, because what I don't want to hold cash long term, because we are at some point going to have a good old hyperinflation, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to get rid of this cash. This cash is a burden. Banks could fail. You lose your cash. Inflation could erode your money more than it's been eroding it at the last. Yeah. Every year it's like 3% or whatever. So your money in the bank, 100 grand in the bank this year left in there, is worth 97 grand the year after, and then worth 3% less the year after. It changes, but ish. So it's like, I don't want cash, but I've been sitting on cash for years now, waiting for this moment. So when it's here and when it's time to go all in, you better know I'm going all in. Shares, property, all in. And by the end of this, I will have no cash left. I'll have, I don't know, 20, 30 grand to live off for a year, and everything else will be in assets, because ultimately this will be a transference of wealth like you've never seen. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right, thanks so much, folks, for joining us. We massively appreciate one of the most popular Never Mind the Buy Boxers of all time. We've been on 2 hours, and we've had a good, healthy audience around the 50, 55 mark for a lot of it, which is super good for a live audience in these things, because it doesn't usually go down like that. The odd time we've had like close or that inch, but mostly it can sit a lot lower than that. And that's not anything wrong with it. It's just the way it is. So we appreciate your attention and your time. We hope you've enjoyed us shooting the poop. I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys, Vlad, Lewis, Luke, for joining us, because
welcome.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been epic.
Yeah.
I've not had much time to do any socializing. I've not done many videos, so it's been super enjoyable for me to get with some like-minded entrepreneurial folks and shoot the poop for a couple of hours. So thanks so much.
Cheers.
You're welcome. It's been good. It's been good. Cheers. Someone just put a comment on there. Truth about Amazon's just started on Channel 4. It should be very interesting.
Oh, there we go. Get yourselves over to Channel 4 if you've got a TV license. I haven't, and I never will. I will go to my grave. I will go to my grave never having a TV license now. I used to have them, and I've not had one for years, and I will never buy one again.
I'm with you, man.
I won't be watching Channel 4. I'm not one of these that will be watching it, but I don't have a license. I won't be watching it. You can stick your Channel 4 up your thingy. I got Netflix, I got Disney Plus, and I got YouTube, and I'm happy with that. Everything else can screw.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Very good.
Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully, we was gentle, was we, Vlad? First time, was it all right?
Cool. Thank you for experience. Really.
Thanks for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. Vlad at first said no to this because he'd never done one of these before, and it's a big deal, like jumping on a live or a video. It's not normal. It's a bit weird and it's horrible at first. And then you do one and you're like, actually, that was quite fun. I'm going to do another. But this was Vlad's first. So Vlad said no at first, and then he said, no, you know what? Screw it. Let me push myself out of my comfort zone. If there's a space still available, I'm in. And here he is, and he did it. And well done, Vlad. It's been really good having you on. Next time we'll have you on, we'll probably make it just you and Nat or you and me or something, and we'll do some more chatting maybe if you want to come on again.
Let's see. Yeah, why not?
Thanks for joining us. Thanks as always, Lewis, superstar, eBay, lovable rogue. What else did I call you? I don't know. And thanks, Luke, used book connoisseur,
More than welcome,
expert, bunch of good guys. Bunch of good guys. Really appreciate it. Right. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks you guys for coming in, and we'll see you next time. Until next time, folks. Bye bye.
see you guys.